Jarvis, drop my needle.
Hello, this is the hardcore legend Mick Foley, and if you are interested in listening to idiots, you came to the right place. Have a nice day.
Woo! That's an attention getter.
He's a very strange young man.
He's an idiot.
What we're dealing with here is a complete lack of respect for the law.
Oh my God, he's an idiot.
You know, of course, that you're out of your jurisdiction.
Personally, I think you're an idiot.
But that's the evidence in the car.
But I was going into Toshi Station to pick up some power converters.
Always like to keep my audience riveted.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, friends and fiends, and welcome to Free Range Idiocy, the podcast about everything, but mostly just the stuff we like. WWE's Night of Champions premium live event is now fully in the rearview mirror, and we assume all those Saudi checks have cleared. So it's time to look at what happened on the other side of the globe, give you our take on it, count up the picks, and speculate wildly on where creative goes from here. With a pair of crowns to decide the new king and queen of the ring, defense of both U.S. championships, the WWE title on the line, and the championship of whoever gets to reign over the smoking wreckage of the most snake-bitten faction in recent history, the Vision. It was a full night. Let's run it all down in this episode 253, Riyadh Rundown. I am your Uncle Todd, and with me, as always, is the man who is one flash sale away from buying his own WWE licensed crown. He has been my partner in Idiocy for over 2 decades and has several Google alerts set up. I give you the man they call Tim.
Greetings and salutations, my friend. How are you?
I'm doing all right. It sounds like you got a little static on the line there.
Well, I was going to ask you that.
Oh, well,
it was happening a lot when you were talking.
Yeah, it's probably Connection and Zencaster and whoever else. It'll be fine. It'll be
famous fine. Last words.
Exactly. As this goes out, within 3 seconds. But how are you doing, sir? How's things going?
I'm here. I'm breathing. Copacetic.
Tough to improve if you don't have those things going on.
What more can one ask for? And with health and another day under the sun here. Although I got to tell you, the sun is hot.
Yes, that is the way that works.
Oh my goodness gracious! The heat index around here this week in Chicago, it's been a burner. It's been a burner. We've got a heat dome over us. Yeah. I love how over the last 10 years or 15 years at this point, we've got heat domes, we have a polar vortex. I feel like all the
what about the bomb cyclones? Don't you love
those? The bombs. How did I forget about the bomb cyclone?
How is that not a wrestling? How is someone not taking that on as a wrestling gimmick?
I think that's going to be at some point. Obafemi is going to change it from the fall from grace to the bomb cyclone. It's going to be like an homage to Brock Lesnar's F5, but with it being cooler sounding.
I like that.
So
I do like that. All right, sir. Well, we were not exactly, peppy, optimistic, excited.
I'm sorry.
We.
You. You were freaking Scrooge McDuck last week, for crying out loud. I was optimistic as always, looking forward with vigor and vim to what WWE was going to deliver to us this past weekend, and I feel they had delivered 110%.
I think that you are high as a kite. You need to have some bourbon, maybe bring you back down to reality.
I was not high as a kite, or am I now?
You are. You're smoking the hopium is what you're doing.
You know what? Look,
hoping this will make sense.
I understand that you're feeling a little bit, on your high horse because you got the gun show, going over there. But come on now. You know what I mean? Come on now.
It's called self-defense against heat. Anyways, Night of Champions broadcast live for both of us. We were via tape delay because we just weren't available at 1 p.m. on a Saturday afternoon.
We have these things called lives. No, it was 1 p.m. Oh, actually, no, you're right. It might have been noon. I was trying not to look at cage side seats, which is my go-to for all things wrestling.
Yeah.
And it could have been noon because, you're right. 1 p.m. may have been the Eastern time. So.
Yeah. I got spoiled because I was on social media, so I had a couple of these spoiled, so it was kind of a bummer. But at the same time, I'm like, whatever. So yeah, I watched this Saturday night and then a little bit today on Sunday. So we both watched a little bit delayed, not live per se, but close enough. So
nice.
Starting right from the beginning here, sir, there has got to be someone else, anyone. I don't care if they have an intern, a janitor. They want to bring out the Brooklyn Brawler. There's got to be someone else to do these voiceovers besides Paul Levesque. Even Vince didn't love the sound of his own voice as much as this guy does.
Okay, so I have to ask the question: what did you not like about it? I like the intros he does.
I get sick of it. Like back in the day, we used to have like Freddie Blassie they'd bring out, or they'd have different announcers. Like it was for a little while. I got it. Like you're establishing we're in a new era and all that, but it's like it's every show he does the voiceover. Like there's nobody else.
That's not
Nobody.
true. Lin-Manuel Miranda did the voiceover for WrestleMania both nights.
Okay, but still.
And I think
the majority of these packages are Triple H.
But here's my theory. If it's a ho-hum regular PLE, it's Triple H. If it's one of the big five, it ends up being someone with some significance. That's my theory, and I'm sticking to it.
Big five? What's the fifth?
Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
WrestleMania.
Yeah.
SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Survivor Series.
Uh-huh.
Unless we not forget about, the fifth that hides the diamond in the rough, the crown jewel. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, dear God.
Ladies and gentlemen, I literally just set up Uncle Todd for that one, and he's just like, my God, do I need to keep doing this show with this chucklehead or what?
I feel like Doc Holliday, my hypocrisy only goes so far.
Wyatt, you're an oak. Such a great line.
And then the fact that they follow it up. Yeah, I'm an oak, all right.
Oh, boy.
What are you speaking of, Wyatt?
Good Lord.
So
you saying something's going on?
As in, never mind.
Yes, indeed.
So we start off the night fresh and cheery with the King of the Ring finals. Yes. Main event, Jey Uso against the ruler, Obafemi. And once again, main event is once again jerking the curtain. We have Jey with his intro first so that he has a good few minutes to catch his breath while Oba does his strut down to the ring. I got to be honest, this match didn't really do much for me. Jey's offense was the usual that you would expect from him. We had the super kick, we had the spear, we had the dive outside, we had the splash. He threw in the sleeper, which was, led to at least a one moment where Oba got to get real wide-eyed. But also Oba's offense was pretty much the usual because at this point, Oba's character is not getting into a deep match at this point. Like that's just not where they're at with his character. I have no doubt that he can probably go for a little while, but that's just not where the character's at. This match was way too competitive for my taste. I feel like the more that we kind of go with Oba, if they're going to do this, it takes the shine comes further and further and further off that win at WrestleMania. I mean, I get that they had Lesnar come back and get his win back or whatever, and maybe that'll lead to something. Who knows if it will. Why is he having a competitive match with Jey Uso? Like, why is that match more competitive than it was against Brock Lesnar? Aside from the fact that Rikishi has compromising photos of Triple H, I don't know. I can't explain it otherwise.
Oh God, because
it doesn't make any sense. Because and the thing is now, like, okay, I'm good with Oba winning. I'm good with that but I'm where does this lead next?
Mm-hmm.
Because I could see Oba going after Roman because of that little, hey, we'll see about after SummerSlam or whatever, that little comment that Roman made back a while. But where does this put Jey? Like, what was the whole point of this whole thing? Are we going to get Roman abusing Jey again? Like, are we literally running back the prior bloodline storyline here? Because Jey was given the assignment to go out and be the other end of the table, and he failed at it. So now, are we going to go through the same thing? I don't again, like, Jay should not have been in this position. It should have been literally anybody else who is an up-and-comer to at least give them screen time rather than this out-of-breath chucklehead who he's been given all of these opportunities and he was then taken off of them for a reason. So Oba wins 2.5 stars. This was average. It was average for both of them. It was a match.
All right. My take on this is, so I have, my first comment is, great, here we go with Jay gassing himself out before the match starts. And sure enough, Jay's breathing heavy, and I immediately write, he's going down in a blaze of glory. Oba coming out and looking like the beast that he is. What else we got? Jay getting a little something in on Oba, but he's on the prowl. Femi's uppercuts were just nasty, man. He just knows how to throw that with the right amount of snap and the amount of just phenomenal. What else? And then as the match goes on, Oba does what anyone should do and get up after that weak ass splash. When Jay did his splash from the top, I'm like, damn right he kicks out at one. Get that weak sauce out of there. Come on now.
Mm-hmm.
Effing super kicks by Jay. Now, it's really funny reading my comments now because literally goes from starting out like, okay, I can see where this is going, and I just get more and more negative as it goes on. I'm like, effing super kicks by Jay. This match has gone on way longer than it deserves to. Effing sleeper by Jay. What a joke. And then finally, Oba throwing Jay's punk ass across the ring. Did you notice the one point when he goes to do the fall from grace and he either had like a bunch of saliva in his mouth or I don't know if he had some water from somewhere, but all of a sudden you see him like do the Triple H spit at one point just before he puts him up. I was like,
he kind of does it. He kind of does that all the time. Yeah.
Does he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fall from grace and it's over. So here is I don't mind them doing a match like this only, but give me when it's time for Oba to dominate, then he like I feel like the way this match was laid out was to protect Jay.
Yes.
And
Why?
To me, it was stupid because Oba, like, there comes a point where the suspension of disbelief goes away because you're watching him be competitive with this person who is, a lesser to Brock Lesnar, and you think about what he did to Brock at WrestleMania, and it's like, why is he not doing some of this stuff to Jay? Now, the story they were telling in the match was, I think Jay was being a bit fast, being a bit wily, kind of taking advantage of the opportunities early on where, Oba missed. And so he goes ahead and, takes advantage of him being stunned because he went into the turnbuckle or he went into the pole or something like that.
No, he hit the barrier on the outside.
Or the barrier, yeah. So I mean, either way, it was, okay, I get it. But then there came a point where, he did the 3 suicide dives outside of the ring, and then the third one, Oba uppercuts him. And I'm like, it should have been done at that point. Oba should have come in, should have whipped him off the ropes, hit a monster clothesline, done the thing where he picks him up and throw. That should be the bomb cyclone, is when he picks the guy up and throws him across the ring.
He did it the first time, and Jay pseudo sandbagged him, and then he lands on his feet. But it's even then, like, he barely kind of helped Oba at all, like, pick him up.
Yeah.
Like, I am just so unenamored with Jay Uso and the continuous friggin' push that this guy has when it's like, you have the future in the ring with this guy.
Mm-hmm.
The other guy has way less runway. He has more days behind him than he does ahead of him. Mm-hmm. Why in the hell are you trying to protect Jay Uso?
Well, like, part of the bloodline. That's why.
Who the hell cares?
Well,
he shouldn't have even been in the
friggin'
tournament.
Reason. I'm giving you a reason.
Okay, reason that doesn't suck. I guess I should have specified that.
Excuse me, sir. I take issue with that comment.
It's not you saying that it sucks. It's just a sucky reason why you would want to protect him. It's like, well, he's in the bloodline, and
well,
he's a lackey.
But see, now he goes back to Roman Reigns with his, tail between his legs. He got his ass kicked to tell him, Roman, you in trouble.
He won't do
he
that,
has
though.
firsthand. I think they're going to. I think Jay is going to. Well, because here's what's going to happen. Roman is going to give him a talking to because he's like, you were supposed to win. You didn't win. What happened? And Jay's going to give him the truth. What I'm waiting to have happen here, and I really wish they did this when Oba was, being interviewed after his win, is to tap into that comment that Roman made. I know you didn't see this in the WrestleMania post show, but I really wish they would let Oba kind of run with that comment that Roman made, where he was sitting there with a smug look on his face, being arrogant, asshole Roman Reigns that he is, and be like, yeah, let's see how you do this summer. Let's see if you're still, all that and da-da-da. And at the time I'm like, okay, I'm wondering if they did that because, Oba's going to go back to that at some point and be like, you remember when you called me a flash in the pan and said, can I make it through the summer? You're going to face me now. You're going to understand why, like that's what to me, that would get, that's what gets me fired up about matches. When you have that storytelling going on where one guy is, denigrating, the other, and then now that person who ran their mouth, they're now having to now basically write the check that they finally write the check that cash the check that they wrote.
Yeah. No, and I agree, but I don't understand why you have to go about it again. Like, I understand kind of I understand the overall journey. I just feel like you're taking like the weakest, most boring, most tedious way.
The match could have been better. The match could have been better, and it could have been done in a way that made Oba still look vicious and powerful and like a just a monster, and not what we got last night. And but I do appreciate they did it with Jay, though, because I think he's going to serve as the harbinger, the angel of death for Roman Reigns, which is, do not take this guy lightly. Like, I'm telling you, man, he's the real deal. And Roman's going to do his arrogant thing and play this like, Jay's being Jay, whatever. And Jay's going to be like, dude, you are going to get your clock cleaned if you're not careful.
We will see.
I think
we're
makes
recording
sense.
this Sunday night. That'll happen tomorrow night. We'll see who is correct on that one. I'll be very interested.
But overall, I am in agreement with you on the disappointment of the match. However, I thought this was a little bit above average. I know you felt like this was average. I went 3.0 on this one. So that is what I now, of course, let's not forget, folks, I had this entire cockamamie story cooked
I was
up.
not going to bring this up. I was
no,
going to wait and see if
I
you mentioned it.
Hey, you know what? Fortune favors the bold. You picked Jey Uso. You didn't get the winner either. I lose nothing by going big on this one. I wanted to see CM Punk. If this was the step toward getting Lesnar Oba 3 in Minneapolis for SummerSlam, I am more than happy to have CM Punk be the stand-in for Oba Femi.
I love
that did
how
not happen. That did not happen.
You lose nothing. You lose credibility.
I don't lose any credibility. If anything, my bona fides are more in order than they were before we picked this match. Yes,
you
that is
picked a dude who wasn't even on the same continent.
I have creative vision and story.
He was not even on the same landmass.
I know he could have been. You didn't know. What do you have his travel? I'm sorry. Do you have his travel itinerary? Like. Folks, he's so certain about these things, and yet he knows nothing.
You've gotten me to the point where the alcohol doesn't even work anymore. I'm going to have to start asking my therapist for some heavy sedatives to deal with your ass. That's what I'm going to need.
I kind of love how you're just off mic, just looking at the camera, just talking. You can't hear anything.
I can't.
Oh my God.
Okay, so in spite of you going completely full tilt loco, this is a push. Okay, fine. Next.
Yeah, this is actually, you're right. This is a full push. Okay, all right. Let me enter in the goose egg for this one.
So coming up after this one, we go directly to the Queen of the Ring.
Wow, that was funny.
Liv Morgan versus Io Sky. Before the intros, we have Danhausen coming out for reasons because Liv
he's got a lot of human monies right now, so
he does.
And then Liv comes out and she's like, "You owe us a lot of money." He's like, "What money?"
Yeah. And so she's cursed and then continues her march to the ring. My first note here is Liv's ring gear looks like a Hot Topics clearance sale threw up. Like there was that thing back for Royal Rumble where Sol Ruka, either her bag got misplaced or something happened and she did not have her ring gear. Yeah. And so she had to like throw it together with whatever she could find in Saudi. That looked better than whatever Liv planned. That was god awful, and I don't want to try and like fashion shame anybody because look at what I'm wearing now. But still, dear God,
I was going to say that is kind of the pot calling the kettle black.
I know, and then we've got Io coming out with her Eskimo boots. I'm like, that's a really good call where it's like 150 degrees. You know, even.
Do you know what I wrote about the boots?
What?
Here's my exact comment. Did Io get those boot furs from Murph and the Magic Tones?
And they're upholstered in beautiful shag. Yeah, I'll buy those back for you for $100. Good old Ray.
Like I saw her boots.
Breaks my heart seeing a boy that young go bad.
I literally thought of Murph and the Magic Tones when I saw the fur on those boots. I'm like, damn, that is some shag. And I'm like, hey, Murph must have sold them.
She should have come out to Quando.
Yeah. Quando tutarai.
I did not have a ton of notes for this, like in terms of like stuff going on here, but we got like I liked how Io rolls out of the Boston Crab. Like that was kind of the first like interaction, like the way that she managed to like roll completely away, like almost using Liv's momentum. Like I'm like, okay, that kind of makes sense, especially, and that was a nice moment from Liv because I feel like she played it well in that she kind of overplayed her move, and it actually seemed well overall for this one. Like there was moments of fluidity in this match, but man, there was also just a lot of waiting around, which is kind of like, I don't know if it was jet lag or if it's just kind of the way that WWE is doing matches right now, but there was a lot of times when it's just really obvious that someone's waiting for someone else. In this match, and in this show as well, like there was just times when I'm like, why? Like, again, I'm trying to think of it as like, if this were an actual fight, I know it's not an actual fight, but still we're working with the illusion and the reality that this is an actual fight. Why would you just sit there?
Yeah.
You know, like it's but I actually Liv okay. I mean, then we get into the Io with her hurt knee, which I thought was hilarious and also cringeworthy because Io is selling the knee by moving it in every direction possible. She's, it hurts so bad, let me move it everywhere. I'm like, I don't know if that's the best way to sell the fact that you like your knee is jacked up, is like by going, oh my gosh. It's like, it's literally Rodney Dangerfield and Caddyshack. Like, I broke my arm. You know, I'm like, did anybody like, has anyone mentioned this to her? Then we get into the point where Graves, because Io Sky, of course, the genius of the sky, Graves calls Liv Morgan the genius of the ground. My comment, no. We shan't be doing that. I did like the code breaker that Liv did when she ran up the ropes and delivered that. I was like, I specifically thought of you because I know you're not a fan of Liv Morgan's work. I feel like she actually had some decent moments from a ring work standpoint in this match. But again, like there was a lot of waiting around. I don't think her and Io have the most natural chemistry. They made it work.
Round 2 at SummerSlam, so
I know. But then we have Io continuing to sell the knee. Then miraculously, miraculously, like Brother Love ran out to the ring, was like, I heal you in the name of the Lord. And she miraculously runs across the ring, bounces up the ropes for the moonsault. I'm like, I guess the knee's better. Like she, like from what Cole and Graves were saying and how she was selling it, it was hanging on by one little old tendon just a moment ago. And now it's a miracle. Dear God, I don't know. Io wins. I mean, thank God for that, because I didn't want to see Liv win. But again, I feel like we're in this point where I mean, oh, good, the right person won, but the other person should not have been in the tournament to begin with. So I guess we win ish. Why
not? I mean, I like the effect of or the result of this, which is she wins and then turns around and challenges her. Now she does it, but poor Io, she's so emotive sometimes. It kind of cracks me up watching her facial expressions. Like like at one point she goes from complete like happiness to looking like she's in agony, and I can't tell if it's because she's trying to like formulate what she's about to put forth. But she at one point she's like Liv, and then you just see her face, and she's just like she just looks like she's in pain, and then she like gets it out, and it's like, well, that's a good thing, isn't it?
It's like a combination of pain, constipation, and about ready to cry. And I'm like, yeah. And in some ways, I'm like, fair. I've been there before. You know, sometimes you get bound up, and it's a rough.
Unless
day.
She was trying to sell the leg injury still, but it just didn't come across. It felt very kind of awkward the way she did it.
The thing is,
but I like that
whatever language. That is so tough to be able to do that in the moment. I can't even. I barely speak English as a first language, so I won't falter for that. No, but I think it's an interesting kind of twist on the concept, because I don't know that we've seen that in prior years, where the winner all of a sudden, well, first of all, that the one of the two combatants is a title holder, and then the winner is the non-title holder who turns around and says, "Hey, I just beat you. I want your title." So how long have they been doing the winner gets an auto championship bid? Because that's
since they started doing the King and Queen of the Ring, going back like 3-4 years. So when they brought the concept back, that's when, I think it might be like 3 years ago.
Because Xavier Woods didn't get a championship bid, did he?
Oh, I
remember. Yeah, because I mean that was
you're right. So I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago where they all of a sudden announced, as part of this tournament, that the winner, I remember Triple H came out and said this will now grant them a title shot of the title of their choosing. So, I mean, I like the match. I do agree that the chemistry was a little off, but I wonder if they can do some fine tuning to get it better. I mean, again, is this part of what we are getting because now they're not on the road as much, and so they don't get to work the kinks out of these matches on the road, and so we start to see some of this stuff, kind of surface in the actual event. At one point, I did check myself on this one. I was giving Liv a hard time about doing that high arch like Boston Crab. I did think that was a cool reversal where she rolled out of it. I think you mentioned that, but then she, then Liv applies the half crab again, and I'm kind of like. Because to me, like I have always looked at the Boston Crab kind of like the sharpshooter as well, where it's more about the lower back than it is about the leg. Even though you are wrenching on the leg, it's not like the leg is being wrenched in a way that is unnatural. So
I would say the sharpshooter is both, because you have like the
legs crossed.
Yeah, but the Boston Crab is definitely like a full on, like that's lower back.
I looked it up, and the Boston Crab and the half crab are both considered a leg and back submission maneuver.
Huh. Okay.
So I had the same thought though, because in my comment I wrote Liv putting on the half crab, which is more of a back submission than a leg submission, but sure, because she's so damn good.
But I mean, the way that it was kind of a cool visual, even if it wasn't perhaps, canon and, Stu Dungeon, correct. Like the angle she had it, and Cole I think even mentioned like almost like a lion tamer sort of thing. Like it was kind of a cool visual. Although, man, another thing did you notice this? Like Cole's mic felt like it was so friggin' hot. Like
well, they had mic
mix was
issues.
Terrible.
They had mic issues all night, and then to the point where they lost audio for a little bit during the main event because part of it was because of the shenanigans of the match, because I think it disconnected some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like at one point, I think Graves, either this one or the next match, Graves' headset went out. He was much softer than Cole. Yeah. It was really weird. Like they just didn't seem to have their crap in order when it came to the audio.
Which is ridiculous because, I mean, and I get like, oh, well, it's different countries, but they're traveling with the majority of this stuff.
Yeah.
Like and to not have that sound mix, like it felt like the announcers were so loud because I'm trying to watch this last night and, I'm trying to let my wife sleep and in the next room. So I've got it kind of down low, but it's like, I could not even hear the crowd because the announcers were jacked up so high. I'm like, I kind of want that mix much more even, like announcers a little bit. I want to hear the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm alone in that. I gave this one 3 stars. Like it was better than average. It was not You know what? I'll go with 3 1/4. It was better than average. And I'm being mostly affected by the fact it was better than the King of the Ring match by far.
Mm-hmm.
It was good, but again, it was those moments of like, you're doing so well, and then we hit this point where we're just obviously waiting for something to happen. But yeah, what was your rating, sir? How did you feel about this one?
Let me see if I have any other comments of note. Let's see. Oh, I know you talked about the code. I thought the code breaker was okay, but I kind of thought it was a little weak. She didn't quite hit it all. And then I love Corey Graves afterward is kind of like covering for her, like by talking about how skilled she is. I will give Michael Cole credit. I have a note here. Michael Cole has heard my complaint and is now correcting things. I appreciate him doing that. He was very much questioning the greatness of Liv Morgan and not, just paying homage to her like without question.
Mm-hmm.
He was calling out several of the hypocrisies that I have been railing about. So I was happy to hear a commentator actually address the elephant in the room, which is she runs her mouth but she doesn't quite cash those. Again, I'm on check cashing for some reason. She writes that check but doesn't quite know how to cash it.
I imagine that a face commentator
I did
commenting on the heel.
Ooh. I know. I did like the ending. I did not think it felt abrupt. I thought it was interesting for her to do the Spanish fly and then to hit the over the moonsault for a definitive victory over Liv. And this would kind of play into I think most of the matches but one. There was very little outside interference, which was great. Yes. I very much appreciate that. So I gave this one, I gave this one 3.5 stars. I thought this was a good match, much better than the opener. And so we each got the winner at 1 point apiece. And what did you say your rating was? You said 3 1/4?
3 1/4.
All right. So you're 0.5 off the pace. I am 0.25 off the pace. So I will get the star rating point. So my streak of dominance begins.
I'm just, I already knew I was going to be in the hole on this one. I'm just taking solace in the fact that I didn't pick somebody to win a match who was not even like remotely close to the building. So
you can take solace in that, but I
that Rube Goldberg trap of a prediction that you had.
Prediction that there was going to be. Sorry, one moment, please.
Bold prediction. I pulled this out of my ass.
Sorry, 1 second.
And therefore, you should be so lucky that you heard it.
Indeed, you should.
You should be so lucky that you were downwind of my fart. Don't you feel lucky?
Sorry, give me 1 second.
Yes. You take that second. Have a few more. Why not? They're small. I am interested to see what will happen with Liv and EO between now and SummerSlam. Like, hell, I'm just happy to see that like Liv has something to do besides just twittering about in the clubhouse.
Yes. What were you asking me about? I'm sorry, I got distracted by my phone.
I wasn't asking anything. I was just moving on.
Well, we were talking about something before I got distracted by my phone.
I was just haranguing you more about CM Punk.
Oh, because I picked something. Yeah, that's fine. You can harangue me all you want. Oh, I was talking about.
I have your approval.
I was talking about the boldness of the pick, and sir, I simply decided to go down a road of a surprise twist, and that twist did not happen. It happens.
Okay.
Happens.
So if I had predicted that Karrion Kross was going to make a run in for the main event, like you would have applauded that as bold.
Oh no, because there's no logic.
Here we go.
No, there's no logic there.
There's conditions.
Hold on.
There's no logic what you were talking about. There's zero.
There are rumors. Wait, hold on. No, listen. There were rumors that there's going to be a Punk Rhodes feud, and this was all in service of getting Punk in line to challenge Rhodes. That was the premise. I said that very clearly last week on the episode. There is logic here. You saying Karrion Kross is coming in, there's no logic to that whatsoever. The guy's not even in the company. So, no, I'm sorry. I simply predicted that Punk would... There were two things going on. Oba would get attacked by Brock, and that would set up their feud at SummerSlam. And Punk steps in and steals a title shot and uses that to face Rhodes, which would go along with what he said the last time he was on TV, which was, you never know when a title opportunity falls from the sky. It was very, very logical, very straightforward. I understand you don't agree with it, but, everyone can be wrong. So I think Uncle Todd's forehead has changed by 4 shades of red. Either it's that hot in his office right now, or it's just...
Lord, I don't know.
Don't listen to him, Lord.
I don't know whether to pray for strength for you to take it away. Because right now I want to hop a flight to Chicago, just beat his ass.
We do have room for you, sir, if you wanted to come by. So,
what's the next match? All right, we've got
okay
Seth,
over there?
We've got Seth Franklin Rollins versus Braun Steiner Breaker.
Oh gosh,
wrestling for the rights for the smoking wreckage of the Vision.
Jeez, you are just so bitter. It's unreal.
I absolutely love how adamant they were throughout the match that this is going to settle this matter. This is bringing this.
Yeah, there was
they just want to make sure.
If we were in the building like we were for Elimination Chamber, I don't know that we would have picked up on that. You know what I mean? I'm just
they were just almost as a hey, we know that this has sucked. We know that this has been the drizzling shit since day one. Really, we're bringing it home here, folks.
Mm-hmm.
We're landing the plane. The plane is on fire. It only has one engine and half a wing gone, and we're all out of snacks. But we're landing the plane.
Yeah,
and I appreciate that.
I can't believe you skipped over the most important thing before that match, though. Is I wanted to see if you would want to go in on a name on the canvas for Science Main Event. We could pay to have the Free Range Idiocy brand on the actual canvas.
Isn't this going to be at MSG?
Yes.
It's at MSG.
Yes.
So apparently, on the big board outside MSG,
yes,
they're advertising this. Guess who's the featured wrestler?
CM Punk?
Danhausen.
Oh, interesting.
Because Knicks, the tie-in. And depending on when that is, if we can score some tickets, would you want to fly in and,
No, I can't. Sorry.
Damn you.
I'm actually not even sure I'll be able to watch this on television when it airs because I'm going to be at Ravinia watching Paul Simon perform.
Oh dear, I would rather go to Saturday Night's Main Event.
Oh, come on now. Let's
Simon,
not speak ill of Paul Simon. He is an American treasure.
He's not dead. It's not like I'm trampling on his legacy. I'm just saying. All right, so we get this one here. The announcer, oh my gosh, this pissed me off. The announcer, with all seriousness, says, "The only way to win," and then lists 4 freaking ways for them to win. I hate the cage rules right now so much. If this is really supposed to be about let's keep it in here and let's solve this thing, either make up your mind. Either it's a pin or submission, or it's escape the cage. It cannot be go through the door, over the cage, pin or submission. It can't, like, you can't have all four.
Yep.
Like, that is the dumbest, lamest thing possible. Oh my gosh. Anyways, so then we have, and I'm pretty sure this is a direct quote, the only piece left standing in the vision, like Seth did that instead of injuries and bad luck. That was, I love that part when they're talking about, it's almost like Seth had systematically mowed them down instead of like, just this thing had apparently like had a horseshoe upside down shoved up someone's
an act
ass.
of God.
Yeah. God hated this faction so much he decided to smote them in particular. So we get kendo sticks, we get chairs and a table in for Seth. I did actually kind of like the whole idea of just throwing everything in there and then Seth sits in the chair and just waits. I actually kind of did appreciate that. Like, he wasn't selling in terms of like, you know, conducting the audience. He wasn't like playing to the audience as much. It was literally down to business, which I was like, okay, this is kind of a cool thing. Then we have representing what's left of the vision, Braun. Again, I don't have copious notes here. I do get to the point where Seth, at one point, Corey Graves is saying he's burying Braun under a pile of chairs, and it's like 3 chairs. I'm like, that's not burying. That's a light dusting of chairs. Like, the Weather Channel would call that a flurry of chairs. Like, what is that burying? Like, this isn't, this isn't like,
it's a chair squall is what that is.
This isn't like the Nasty Boys being buried at the ECW arena with, chairs thrown into the ring from all angles. Oh my gosh. We get the Frankensteiners onto those chairs later for 2. We get one of the dumbest looking flying clotheslines by Braun Breaker coming off of because he like walked the ropes and like, my God, the athleticism, like he was holding onto the cage. Like, I could do that. I'm 50 years old with 2 bad knees and a bad lower back, and I could do that. Like, let's, ratchet it back a little bit. What else we got? Seth throws the chair. Braun catches it, and then they both, like, apparently for the benefit of flash photography, pose there for a little while before Seth finally gets around to kicking him. That was another one of those things where it's like, oh my gosh, this is so, like, Rob Van Dam 25 years ago was like bang, bang, bang with that move. And you're sitting here like, all right, I'm a coming. Like, for frack's sake, if you can't make the move look snappy and somewhat like legit, just don't do it. It's sort of like AI voices. If you can't get the person because they're dead, get somebody else to do it. I know. Incredible coincidence of a thought. I got to say, one of the dumbest things right now going around in WWE is the spear out of nowhere, where Braun is just getting his ass kicked, and then all of a sudden he like brawns up, I guess, and does the spear out of nowhere, and he's fine. Like, I don't get that. The top of the cage suplex on Braun through the table, it's cool looking, but I'm like, yeah, and it could have also crippled the guy who's already had enough of these things where he's almost been crippled. So sure, why not? Just take advantage of his CTE. We get a pedigree stomp combo for 2, which is unfortunate because it was the first pedigree in a long time that Seth has done that's actually looked good, that the person who's taking it actually like makes it look decent instead of like, and then Braun begs off from the stomp, which was odd. That was a very odd moment. Then he does his little I'm gonna breaky you, and then Seth comes off the second rope and stomps him anyways, and that is the story of him. Seth wins. 3.5 stars. Probably the match of the night, and it was middling, which says a lot about this event for me.
All right. My comments are both individuals throwing the hardware into the ring before we start. I was kind of curious how you felt about that, with it being a steel cage match, if you had any issues with them doing that, but they at least threw it in the before the match started. They set the table, so to speak. But I did have this comment that Braun brings his own hardware in as he and Seth have a dick measuring contest over the weapons. Like it was almost like okay, you threw 5 in, I'm going to throw 6. Ha ha! I got you.
Yes.
But I agree with you. I have a note about the sitting across from each other and Seth talking crap to start it off was really good. I like the hot start to the match. One thing I'm noticing with Seth's matches is whether it was Braun or whether it was with Gunther at WrestleMania, he just brings, like, in this current incarnation of him right now, he just brings a lot of, like, energy in at the start. You know what I mean? Like, he's just coming in strong. There's an intensity there. I like it. The one thing I cannot stand about these steel cage matches is the weak ass offense on the side of the cage. Like, it's like they like, given how much give there is, I'm really surprised they don't do things like trying to, like, lawn dart people or throw people hard in, because there's so much give. Like, it's not like they're going into, like, a hard object that's gonna, impact their spine. They're just going in. I mean, I'm someone who's not in that ring and not in that.
I was going to say, like, we can say that there's a lot of give, but I mean, have you ever flown into a what is that? Chain link fence?
No, I have not. But when you watch them take their heads and do the bang, 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 you see how much it moves. You're just kind of like, well, then why don't you throw them a little bit harder then, or something? Like make it look a little more realistic, because it just looks weak to me sometimes.
Can I ask you one question here? Because this thought occurred to me today as I was watching the main event and actually the semi-main event. Do you think that HD cameras and HD TVs are one of the worst things to happen to professional wrestling? Because it seems like now we can, you get the best detail, but you also see exactly how close somebody is or how much they miss. Because there was a couple times and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, you weren't even close. And I understand that part of it is, like, maybe it was a poorly chosen angle and the live shoot, because of course they're doing all this live, like they're choosing cameras live and trying to get the best angle, and sometimes it doesn't work out. Mm-hmm. But also I look back and I'm like, okay, if that was like 40 years ago and you still have people watching on black and white TV sets, and you're watching, like, non-HD TV, like, do you notice that? Like, if some of, like, what we go back to, like, the old days and we think, like, oh my gosh, they made that look so good. It's like, no, it was just the fact that you couldn't see, like, every hair on their arm. You know what I mean?
I honestly, it hasn't for me. I don't feel like it's worse because of the sharpness of the picture. If anything, I feel like it's given professional wrestling a more athletic presentation that it lacked before.
Okay.
That's just me.
All right.
What I think is hurting them, I kind of alluded to this before, is I wonder if we're starting to see the byproduct of, and again, I'm not advocating that these men and women be on the road 350 days out of the year, but there seems to be an element of not having the house shows to refine the product before it goes live on television or on PLE is starting to show a little bit. And I figure if Seth and Braun could do a few steel cage matches on a house show tour where it's, it ends up as a no contest or both guys fall out, at the same time or something like that, you save a win or a loss for either one of them. So there isn't really a consequence where Seth loses face or Braun loses face until you get to the PLE. There's a way to do that. And so to me, I think about, like, the monkey bars kind of cage matches that they used to have back in, like, the 80s and maybe early 90s.
Jeez.
You couldn't do that sort of thing. I mean, for one, it'd be really hard to lawn dart someone because the freaking holes, the squares are so freaking big. You're not going to really be able to throw someone. And then secondly, it was this it did seem to have a rigidity to it that it just doesn't feel like the chain link. Right. Yes.
Because there wasn't the big frame and they didn't lower it down from the ceiling. They're like putting that thing up panel by panel.
Right. Exactly. And so, but one thing I always loved about WCW was they did the chain link fence steel cages, and those looked vicious. Like, those guys, like, now they weren't lawn darting each other, but when they would ram each other's head or they would whip, they would whip them with malice into the side. I mean, like they would throw themselves. I mean, it looked real. Like there's a realness there to it.
Yeah.
And I get that they're trying to not, do blood or try to minimize, blood loss happening or something like that. I get it. But I'm sorry, when you do a match like this, like you can clean it up as much as you want, but at some point you've got to have it. And in a way, I'm glad Braun got cut open because I had a comment about that in this match. I'm like, someone has got to bleed for this level of rivalry. Like this is the young buck who upended his leader taking on his mentor, and they have a lot of bad blood between the two of them. So I want to see, and I was hopeful for it because they threw all the hardware in the ring in the beginning, that I wanted to see something like that. I mean, there was one point where I forget the spot, but there was a spot where one of the tables gets broken and you just see like the metal pole. And this is what I loved about Punk and Drew McIntyre, because they did this in the Hell in the Cell match. They had a broken table and Drew takes the freaking leg from the broken table and starts jamming it into like Punk's face. Like that's what you want out of a rivalry like that. Like these guys hate each other.
Any advantage.
Yes.
Yes.
And that's where I feel like it felt very saccharine to me. It felt very, what's the word I'm looking for? It just felt very cleansed of the things that make a rival. Sorry, what's that?
Antiseptic.
It just felt like it was lacking an edge to it that needed to be there for a blood feud like this, because that's what Rollins and Breaker had.
Yeah.
So
no, I would agree.
To me, that's where I just wish that they, I mean, of course, do it safely, but bring a realism into it that shows the cage to be the weapon that it is.
Yes, they've gotten away from that, and the cage is more of a play set. And it becomes almost like we have to have them exchanging punches at the top of the cage.
Yep.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
No, you do not. Especially if it's two people who that does not make any sense for them. If neither one of them ever go to the top rope, why the hell would they go to the top of the cage? There's other possibilities, No, I agree. Would you rate this thing?
Can I throw a few other comments in?
Oh, of course, yeah.
Let me see. Let's see. I love the Frankensteiner by Braun, where he actually uses the top of the cage to he kind of grabs onto it before he does it's like a guided Frankensteiner now, because he's holding on and he can get more torque that way. I thought that was really cool. Seth with a nasty superplex from the top with Braun through the table. It's good to see some blood from Braun. We needed that. I do like how,
right? I mean, because that had to have been incidental, because that's not a place where you would normally blade, because it wasn't like it was like right around here or something.
Yeah, he might have gotten hit by, I don't know, some piece of the table or the chair or something.
I mean, it did work out well, I will say. Like it did added to it.
I did like how, like kind of the theme in this match was Seth kind of questioning what kind of man Braun is, and, Braun trying to escape the cage. And, I wanted to get your take on this, because you've always been very critical about how they book these cage matches. And here's a great case of Braun was doing something you can do in that match, but it wasn't going to be the exclamation point on them. Like he was literally trying to escape is what he was trying to do. He did not want to beat Seth. He simply wanted to escape the situation because he was losing. And I think that I want to get your perspective on this, because I think that's a great storytelling mechanism where, yes, and again, he's a heel, so he's doing the, the chicken shit thing of getting out of it easy, and getting the win. But at the same time, the way Seth framed it from the very beginning about, when they were sitting there and he's saying, what kind of man are you going to be? It now frames it as almost like a loss for Braun. Like, even if he wins the match that way, what has he really won? True. You know what I mean? Like, yes, he's beaten his mentor again in a different way, but did he really win? Like, is he really a better person or a better competitor than Seth when he escaped something rather than facing it and putting him down? And that's what happened with the two of them, is that Seth ultimately does what I know they call it the avalanche. I call it the mega stomp. But he does it from the top, and it looked good, and it was a poetic ending to it. And I don't think it ruins Breaker's character. I think, if they're hitting the reset button because the Vision is a cursed group, maybe they need Danhausen to uncurse them. I don't know. But
that would actually be the funniest way for them to do this, like get all the Vision in one, and Danhausen like puts them in that box and reverts them back to their original gimmicks. It's literally the Dallas from the 80s. Like, oh, he was in the shower and that last thing didn't exist. Like, just a complete, like, everybody's back to start.
It's not going to happen. But what I would absolutely love is a very humble, very contrite Oracle walking in. Mr. Danhausen.
Yes.
I need you to uncurse my group. We can't stay healthy, all four of us or five of us. Could you please? Yeah. I have some human monies for you. I could see him being like, oh, human monies. All right.
So here's my thing.
Yes, sir.
I get where you're coming from, but I understand where the story was going.
Yes.
It feels like there's a much better way to do this, and almost a more dramatic way to do this. Mm-hmm. We have so many bullshit contract signings. Mm-hmm. A cage match is actually, or even some of the championship matches, it shouldn't be a contract signing so much as a negotiation. Mm-hmm. So when you come out to do the contract signing, it's like Braun Breaker and Seth Franklin Rollins are going to meet in a steel cage at, or even if we're going to have you guys meet, we're going to have you meet at Clash of Champions. And then this isn't good enough. Steel cage. Mm-hmm. And that can be Braun Breaker saying that. Then Seth Rollins gets to counter. Okay. The rules are it's not an escape. You can't escape. Mm-hmm. Pin or submission in the cage. Mm-hmm. And then you can still do the thing of Braun Breaker is willing to leave the cage, except now it's even more dramatic. He's willing to lose the match because that would disqualify you. You leave the cage before the match is done, you're disqualified. That's how badly he's getting beaten and how much he's shaken. He's willing to go try and get over, and he's not going for the door because the door now is verboten. That's locked. They're not going to open it for you. Mm-hmm. He's got to climb. He's climbing over the top.
I think they should negotiate weapons. Have the weapons be in the damn ring to start. Like, they waste so much freaking time hauling it in there. I want weapons in the ring right away.
I mean, I could see that. However, I also appreciated the way that Seth did it, where he brought in the tables and he put them off to the side. Like, he literally just decided, like, this is my corner. This is my arsenal. I was like, okay, this is how you do this well. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I just think they need to use weapons less overall in these types of matches so that when they do have people who can do it well, it means more and it's like impactful. You know what I mean? But
it's a blood feud. It needs to be there. You
exactly.
need to have something to draw blood.
But there's a lot of other times when it doesn't need to be there. So I think that when all of this can be done ahead of time and it can achieve the same storyline effect, but it can actually make sense rather than this the only way to win. And then you list 10 ways that someone can win. I'm like, oh yeah, the only way to win. Frack me. Just like, what is special about this, really? Mm-hmm. Anyways.
What was you asked me my rating. My rating on this was 4.0. I thought this was really good. This is really good. It is not the match of the night for me, but it is
okay.
It is the second best match of the night. So I went 4.0. What did you put it?
I had this at 3.5.
All right. I think this is a push for both of us. You're 0.5 off. I'm 0.5 off. So no points.
Indeed. Which brings us to the first of two United States championships. The United States is very much in contention here, not on United States soil. Oh, the irony. Wouldn't it have been better to have like the intercontinental belts defended on like different continents?
One would think.
There we are trying to make sense of things. So we have the champion Trick Williams defending against what's his face? Ricky Saints.
Ricky Saints.
Okay. First and foremost, before we even get into the match, congrats to Trick Williams and Lash Legend, who were married not that long ago.
Ah, yes.
I did not even know that they were a couple. I'm like, that is one home you don't want to break into.
No.
That's like, you remember, I forget how long ago it is now. Someone broke into a guy who was playing for the Green Bay Packers, broke into his house. The dude heard someone break into his house, unscrewed a post from his bed, like one of the bed posts, and proceeded to wear that dude's ass out with the post before he called the cops.
Oh my.
So it's like, you not only got arrested, you got the living crap kicked out of you by like a linebacker for the Green Bay Packers. Don't break into Trick Williams and Lash Legend's house. They're just going to take turns beating the hell out of you for a warm up. Like, oh, hey, we don't even have to go to the gym today. We spent an hour beating up that burglar. Sweet. Oh, but we still have to do cardio. Damn it. Or would that actually, that's more cardio. They'd still have to go lift. Anyways, I gotta say, I did appreciate Ricky Saints doing the Eddie Guerrero, grabbing the kendo stick, slamming it, and pulling
phenomenal.
Eddie Guerrero. That was nice. Gets you a little Yachty ejected from ringside. However, then I had to put down in my notes, by the way, who the hell's the heel here? Like, do we just not care about this anymore? Do we just
it was very clear that Ricky was the heel.
But you have
Little Yachty didn't do anything. He went over and grabbed the kendo stick from him after not using it at all.
I get it, but Trick and Little Yachty are not exactly the most face of faces here.
They're the cool guy.
Frack me. Okay, so whatever.
They're the cool guy.
I gotta say, like,
coolness.
Saints was better. Oh my gosh. Saints was a lot better in this than what I thought he would be. Frack me, dude.
I'm sorry. I'll stop.
What are you drinking over there? Is it just pure wood grain? You have Uncle Jemima's mash liquor over there? Like, what are you having? You're enjoying yourself way too much.
because getting you riled up makes me laugh. I'm sorry.
Jeez. Ricky Saints was a lot better than kind of what I had anticipated. So it was a decent enough match. It really didn't do a whole lot. I mean, it was, I give it 3. I'm trying to make sure that I'm being fair here. I give it 3 stars. It was nothing special.
Okay.
It served its purpose. It was above average, but honestly, there just wasn't a lot of juice to this match, really. So yeah, Trick retains.
Okay.
Your thoughts, sir?
Let's see. I wrote Ricky Saints is winning tonight. I can feel it, especially after that pose. I have always found that pose borderline hysterical, and yet at the same time, you're kind of like, okay, that's interesting.
You also thought CM Punk was going to win, so
I don't understand why, like, you can't grasp the reasoning behind this other than you're just trying to rile me up. So,
well, because I haven't had nearly enough to drink. I mean, give me another 3 or 4 beers and maybe I'll grasp it.
Love the Eddie Guerrero bit, like we talked about. I love Saints walking the ropes like old school, but being an arrogant ass as he did it. When he kind of was like strutting on the top rope. I thought that was really cool.
Kind of nice. Yeah.
Let's see. I thought they had a good back and forth match where, Saints was in control for a lot of it. And I do think the commentary kind of helped elevate that theme where they were like, Ricky Saints, even though he lost, he took Trick, to his limit in a way, like he was in control of that match for most of it. And, Trick has, the trick shot, which is kind of his like out, to kind of, put someone away. And I like how they did it. I mean, it felt abrupt, but at the same time, it's like, that's what the trick shot should be. When he hits it, goes down for 3 and it makes that move mean something instead of it being like the Blue Thunder Bomb for Sammy, where it's like, oh, the Blue Thunder Bomb,
Oh, hang on. I have thoughts on that later.
I know you do.
What do you think about the little bookend? With like the step over and then something about that. I was like, it's lame, but at the same time, I'm all for it. Like I can't.
I want him to create a move where he uses the lemon pepper stepper, name. I think we got to get the lemon pepper stepper schlepper or something like that.
He needs like the leperoony.
The leperoony. That doesn't sound good. Lastly, I put Little Yachty's People's Elbow was as good as Snoop's, but possibly worse.
No, he was definitely worse than Snoop's.
I don't know. He might. Here's what I give him the nod on. I think he was moving a smidge faster than Snoop did. They both seem to be very hesitant on the ropes.
5 years younger than him too. He ought to be moving.
Oh, come on now.
And if you know you're going to have to do that move, put on appropriate footwear. The man was wearing like loafers that were 3 sizes too big. He's shuffling along.
I know. Every day I'm shuffling.
And the fact is, Snoop was high as hell when he did it.
Well, I'm sorry. That's what you're getting with Snoop. That's just what you're getting with Snoop.
Well, yeah.
All right. Here is my rating for this. 3.25 stars is what I gave it. It was a good match. It wasn't, a great one. One that is worthy of 3.5 or higher. So let's see. We both picked Tricky Williams to win. And so we each get a point for that. And then you, sir, were closer on your score. So you will get the star rating this time around. But for the record, folks, I am still ahead by 1. So,
oh my gosh!
Just one.
And on that note, because before we get to the semi-main event, I need to go and use the little.
Okay, so the score right now is Man They Call Tim, Bladder of Iron 0, Uncle Todd 3.
He's peeing in a bucket underneath his desk.
I am not.
I like to be slightly more hygienic.
Strong like bull.
A few moments later.
Oh, there we go. All right. Look at that. What'd you do? A little pump exercise before you came in? I thought I saw a little bit more of some definition going on there.
I wash my hands, I guess.
Well, I guess I could do it.
This motion right here, apparently,
Well, there you go. There you go. All right. The other side of the United States Championship coin, the women. The women. Tiffany Stratton, the reigning defending champion, versus Jade. I don't wrestle much, Cargill. Sorry. By the way, my notes got like smaller and shorter as this event progressed. I'm almost to a point like I do all these notes like we did this for WrestleMania, and I do read from them to some degree, but we end up talking about most of what I write down, and I'm kind of like, okay, if I can just focus on the match, not write a lot, and just try to commit it to memory, I'll be fine, because you will talk about parts of the match and that'll trigger memories for me, and I'll talk about parts of the match. So I'm really just trying to note like really significant things that happen. And in this match, I don't know how you were feeling, but I felt like one of the stories in this match that I thought they did really well was having Tiffany just a lot of reversals on her part. Like she was, Jade was going for her power moves and Tiffany was kind of getting out of it and flipping her into something else. And I thought that was an interesting way to approach the match, because it isn't just Jade physically dominating an opponent. She's getting frustrated by her opponent because she can't do the things that she wants to do. It's very much, against, kind of her character and her type, because she's used to, throwing people around and having her way, and Tiffany is frustrating her. And I thought that was an interesting way to play the match, because like without having Tiffany look like a chump or look lesser than Jade. Like I felt like it was a good match between the two of them. I wasn't terribly crazy about Jade's offense. I mean, there were a couple pretty good moves, but kind of at the time, from time to time she was a little bit rough, but she did give Tiffany a nasty knee to the face on the outside early in the match, which I was like, oh damn, that looked brutal, but well done on their part. And then the end of the match, this is where not having a run-in often actually now pays off, because it made sense what they did in this match, where you had Jade's crew come down to try to, give her an advantage. And then you had I think this is out of nowhere. I don't watch SmackDown very much, but was this like the return of Chelsea Green, or?
There's been, there has been business and shenanigans amongst Chelsea Green and Charlotte Flair with Jade. Here's the thing. Like, I don't think these two should have been on a PLE match together yet. Okay. It's not because I think either of them are terrible. Neither one of them are ring generals.
No.
And I think it's hilarious how they're selling, Tiffany as having, being more experienced. I'm like, Jade has probably technically been in biz longer. But because it's another company, we're not recognizing that. Fine, I get it. But neither one of them right now, I think, are really all that capable of leading a lesser opponent or an equal opponent to a great match. Tiffany might have been heading in that direction, but then she got sidetracked with injuries, so there's a whole thing there. I don't know that Jade is there. Well, I know that Jade isn't there. So putting them together, like, again, there's moments. Yes, the reversals are cool, but there's it's slow. And is in particular, like, this really came out to me as I was watching, like, the kickouts in this match. And again, it's the little things. And I would love to hear someone like Bubba Ray or hell, even Uncle Corny or whoever talk about this, where in particular in this match, the kickouts made me realize how much I've seen this in other matches as well, where the kickouts seem much more mutual than one person struggling out of the pin that the other is trying to put them in. Like, they're almost letting them up as opposed to the other person getting out. And I guess for fans who are just like, hey, I'm here for an acrobatics display. Like, I call me crazy. Like, I kind of want the illusion preserved and again, I know it's not actual fighting, but at least try. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there was so many times in this match where, like, especially early on in the match, where there was a kick out, and I'm like, that wasn't a kick out. That was like Jade, like, jumping off of Tiffany as Tiffany happened to, like, pull a shoulder up. Like, there was no sense that they were actually fighting it. It was way too much of they're working together. Like, and I know they're working together. That's how the whole friggin' thing works. But preserve some of the illusion of it. And that's where inexperience kind of shows. And like, this match just was kind of very meh for me. Like, I get where they were going and I get what they're trying to do in some way, but at the end of the day, like, Tiffany wins, but she needed the help of two people who are much more qualified than her to do it. So how does that preserve her? Jade needs her crew to help her, even though she's a physical powerhouse. How does that help her? Like, again, like, I know they're trying to downshift both of these ladies into kind of a mid-card belt because they realize that, like, oh my gosh, maybe Jade wasn't ready for a world championship. Maybe Tiffany wasn't ready to carry the world championship. So we're going to put them here, but it's like, putting them there together might not have been the best idea. Maybe putting one of them with, I don't know, Chelsea, or one of them with Charlotte, and let the more experienced person kind of walk them through this and do their job of making them look better, might have been a better idea than putting the two people who it's like, they're not quite ready. Well, let's put them together. Let's see what happens. Like, again, you guys are supposed to have a lot of experience with this. I haven't done this, but it seems like a bad idea to me. So, yeah, I wasn't thrilled.
I mean, I'm with you. I mean, I didn't give this match a high rating. The thing that stood out to me, like I said, was the reversals, and part of that, again, came from the commentary team. I don't know if I was in the arena watching this that I would have picked up on it, but I think it was an interesting story to tell in the match where, Tiffany is kind of the wily champion who is, kind of thwarting Jade whenever she's trying to exert her control and her strength. And I can appreciate that. And so that's why I gave it a 2.75. I mean, it was an average match, but I thought having that little bit of extra storytelling going on helped it feel like a competitive match between two people who I thought, Jade was just going to kind of dominate her, and she didn't. And so, yeah. And then I felt the interference made sense because, Jade took Charlotte out of the Queen of the Ring tournament, and it felt, and, again, don't want to toot my own horn, but I had a side bet
toot
that came true where Charlotte not only
side bet for either of us.
What's that?
The only side bet for either of us.
No, we had 3. You had 2 side bets. I had 3.
And neither one of you had one that came true.
I did. But you just said we only had one side bet.
No.
I guess I misunderstood what you were saying. I'm sorry.
I meant that you had one side bet that came true. So actually, looking at our side bets, you should be -2, and I should be -2 as well.
I don't understand that math. You have 2.
We'll get there. Let's just proceed with what you're talking about.
I have 2 plus 1 is -1. I know it's math, but I'll help you, buddy. I'll help you.
You had 3 side bets.
Yes.
2 of them were wrong. 1 was right. That's a -2.
It's a -1.
No, it's a -2 because it's +1 if correct.
-1, -2, +1, -1.
Son of a bitch.
I love you, brother, but don't try to pull the wool over my eyes on the match.
I'm legitimately not trying to pull the wool over your eyes.
I know. You
legitimately was like going back to like 7th grade with like Mrs. Grady trying to teach me algebra. Going, I just don't know.
The look on your face though when you're like, crap, them damn integers. No worries. Okay, so my that is such an.
I'm just gonna sit here. You take this thing home.
No. That is such an on brand aspect of our show. Thank you, sir, for keeping us honest and on brand. My rating for this was, I said, honest 2 3/4. Stupid. What's that?
Honest and stupid.
Oh, stop it. So I get 2 points for the winner. I predicted Tiffany was going to win. By the way, I do want to say too, what you talked about last week with her gimmick, she is definitely going to be in danger of, I think, just falling out of favor with fans because the entire Tiffy time thing is just so freaking played at this point. Like she is definitely a character that needs to get reinvented.
Well, and here's the other thing that I thought about as I was watching her, because I remember watching her and being like, "Oh my gosh, she's uber athletic," and the acrobatic training and all this. Oh my goodness, the gymnastics training. Now that Sol Ruka's up, and I know that people have been, Sol has not hit the Soul Snatcher all that well. Sol Ruka makes Tiffany Stratton look slow.
And I think Io Sky too. I mean, I know Io doesn't do the bounce sort of thing, but between Jacob Fatu and what Io Sky is doing, and I know Jacob, is not in the women's division, but just the fact you have a couple different characters who do this sort of bouncy moonsaults, and I think Jacob does it with more viciousness. I think Io does it with way more precision. To your point, it kind of nullifies this idea of, oh my God, she's so athletic. I mean, yes, she's athletic, no doubt. No one's going to argue that.
But it's like, okay, then what else have you got?
Right. And to me, like, I feel like she is a character who is ripe for a, either a really uber babyface run because of something that connects her with the fans that's outside of Tiffy time, or she goes really dark where like either way, there's something personal that has to get established with her for people to care about her. This whole Tiffy time thing is a played,
I got you,
sort of, gimmick that while it may have worked initially, it doesn't have legs. And we've seen a lot of, I go back to the Attitude Era with Triple H, with Mick Foley. When you get when you get wrestlers in a situation where they have to talk personally about something that has a connective tissue with fans, that is way more powerful than the stupid she's walking down the aisle, she's like, do you know what time it is? I'm like, will you stop? Like, you're so much better than that. You know what I mean? Like, so to me, I just feel like the gimmick was a fine entry gimmick for her to the main roster or in NXT, but let's evolve her now. Let's get her to the next level.
I got you. Here's what we're going to do. All right. Because notice who
is there math involved? I just have to ask.
No, there is. Thank God. Thank God. Jeez.
But I'm sorry, sir. What is said gimmick?
So here's the thing. You notice who she was going back up the ramp with. It's Chelsea Green. Charlotte's trailing behind. So who's she most closely kind of aligned with right now? Chelsea Green.
Yeah.
Now, normally you would think, okay, well, Chelsea has been kind of the heelish presence before. She's going to be the one who turns on Tiffy. Tiffany's going to turn. Tiffany goes heel, full on heel. Like, there is no doubt about it. She goes completely and rejects everything about her babyface run. She's like, this whole Tiffy time thing, like, I was told to say this, like, this is not who I am. I'm the best. I am this, I'm that, and becomes the pompous, I am the best and this and that and the other. And I don't need this Tiffy time crap. Like, I'm tired of dealing with this. And you know what? I've got this belt. You can't do anything about it.
You know who she needs to hook up with? Jordynne Grace.
Jordynne.
Yes.
Please don't take my belt. But then this opens the door to a Chelsea Green face run, because she already is.
Yeah.
And even if she doesn't end up winning against Tiffy, this should be the way that we then get a Chelsea Green run for the heavyweight world championship of one shape or another.
You're onto something, because what you can do is have Tiffany claim superiority because of her athleticism. You can have her run down Chelsea because, the fact that she is viewed as not main event material, and that she has existed at that level, and that she is like you could build her into, in some ways, kind of like a female version of Kurt Angle, where she is a women's wrestler's wrestler sort of thing, where like, I know she doesn't have the Olympic background, and it's not that technical wrestling is her strong suit, but if you play into the athleticism aspect of things, that she can do things that other women can't do. Like, let's move beyond the bouncy moonsault. Like, there's got to be other moves, other things that she can do from a physical aspect because of her gymnastic sort of background. And it doesn't have to be like Sol Ruca, where she does like super crazy spinny stuff. It's just, she is someone who is, precise, who is methodical, and like, and I think if you take her and go from blonde to like black hair, I think she becomes a very interesting sort of darker character. And you play into the fact that Chelsea has had to, scratch and claw her way to prominence in some way, shape, or form. Again, not saying she's like Mick Foley, but it has a Foley-esque sort of tale, where she's had to fight for everything. She knows she's not the greatest athlete, or the best.
Her, like, we've got it on friggin' Unreal.
Yes. She can play off of that.
The same
100%.
as Ric Flair saying, would you ever see this guy as the world's heavyweight championship? Boom. And it could be yes.
Yeah. So no, you're 100% on something. I think this has all the makings of a great and there's a story. And so now when you have a Tiffany Stratton Chelsea Green match at maybe next year's WrestleMania, you would have a story there that I'm actually sitting on the edge of my seat to see how this son of a gun's going to turn out, which is 3/4 of our issue with night one of WrestleMania this past year, which is none of the matches had any freaking story to them, which is frustrating as all get out. So, but we talked a lot about this one, and for it being kind of an average match, what sort of rating did you give it, sir?
Oh crap! I had to go. Hang on a second. 2.5, because it is average.
It is average. So we are both on the money with our ratings. I said 2.75. I predicted 2.75. You predicted 2.5, and you gave it a 2.5 rating. I got the advantage of the winner with 2 points, so I will take that one. But otherwise, there are no points for the star rating. And that brings us to our last match for the undisputed. What's the dispute about? WWE Championship.
What is all the fighting about?
I don't know. The reigning defending champion, the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes, versus the Ring General Gunther versus the last real good guy, Sami Zayn.
In full-out Saudi gear.
Oh, my gosh. He was the hometown favorite. I don't know if this would have been the reception, that he would have gotten in Montreal. I mean, who knows? But, man, did he get a reception coming down the aisle. And you know, as they pointed out, I believe the first Muslim world champion in WWE.
We're going to jump the gun here, huh? Spoilers.
Sorry,
dear Lord, you get me by my math, and here you are just shatting on the.
Well, I was trying to play up to the excitement of the moment.
It's damn near a week old. Go right ahead.
But anyways. But no, great entrances all around for everyone. And this one just got out to a hot start with all three. I mean, the thing I found funny with the start was.
Can I just throw one thing out? Because so by the time entrances are over, by the time the bell actually rings, I paused real quick and I looked at the time remaining.
And you used the bathroom?
No, because I might have. Because watching this afterwards, you can see the finished time. I'm like, okay, so we've got about 20 minutes of time. Did that kind of piss you off for this? Because I mean, literally, we have two of the more experienced, probably three of the most experienced wrestlers in the company right now for the main event for one of your world championships. And quite honestly, this is the world championship for the WWE, because this is the legacy of the winged eagle belt, correct?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This is the WWF WWE championship. And you got 20 minutes? I mean, did that feel a little bit kind of like, I know it's a triple threat and that we're going to try and, pack things in here, but did that feel a little bit like this is a bit of a jip? I felt it a little bit like, okay. And this is one of the matches that was spoiled for me because I happened to look on Instagram and Becky Lynch had posted about it. But it's like, we're going to tell this story in 20 minutes. All right.
Well, see, when I watched the replay, the post show was part of it. So, so I didn't have a precise read on the rest of the time.
Yes, because you were doing this legitimately instead of surfing with the sharks.
Yes, I did.
I applaud you, sir.
Thank you. Well, I pay my pound of flesh to ESPN monthly solely so I can watch my wrestling events unabated. But no, I didn't really think too much about it.
Okay.
So yeah, I was going to jump into the entrances, but I'll.
I wanted to get your take on that.
Unfortunately, I did not notice that because of the combination of the post show, which I do want to watch and have not yet, with the match itself. I don't have a lot of notes for this match, to be honest. I mean, I think. The action was good. I mean, it was a great hot start to the match. And I just wrote with various pairings of the three. So I love how one third was always thrown out of the ring at any given moment.
Well, and I like how Corey Graves had mentioned that whole thing about even referencing JBL, just hang around the ring to take advantage. I'm like, okay, that's a good way to play this. Yeah. I am very much on record of I hate triple threats, mostly because it's the sole three-way combination that we see in WWE.
Yep.
Occasionally, if you threw in a three-way dance where it became elimination style, I would probably be a little more inclined to appreciate the positives of the triple threat. But where it's the only version of this, it feels inferior in most every way, especially for a championship match. Like a championship match should not be a triple threat. Whoever, the champion doesn't have to be involved. That is horseshit. Like it should be elimination style. There should be some other type of there should be a gauntlet that you have to run then, if that's the case. But I did appreciate at least an attempt to, work into the strategy of things. That was good. And again, Corey Graves, very underrated in terms of an announcing partner. Michael Cole, to me, felt off this whole event for whatever reason. There was a lot of almost I don't know if you want to say missayings, but he would get halfway, like me. He'd get halfway through something and then realize, oh, that isn't what I meant to say, which is fine for me as some schmuck on a podcast. But when you're broadcast live on Netflix or, ESPN around the world, got to be a little more on your A game. But then again, I wonder if there's a jet lag factor here, because the other thing I noted down is that Gunther, to me, looked a little off/slow. Which is not usually the case. Gunther is usually pretty crisp and on top of stuff. And I wonder if just the travel was a little more onerous, and maybe some of the things that we saw throughout the show are because people are just damn, this kind of kicked my ass for whatever reason. And I appreciated the fact that we, ladies and gentlemen, were witness to history for this show. The fact that this was, they didn't announce this on the broadcast. However, I feel it is incumbent upon me to announce this. This was the 10,000th time that Sami Zayn failed to put someone away with a blue thunder bomb. I will treasure this moment always, that I can say for sure I was there on my couch going, there ain't no friggin' way he's going to put this guy away. When Sami Zayn did it for the 10,000th time, it was magic. I mean, do you believe in miracles? No, because it would have been a miracle for him to put him away with this. So I was glad to be there for that. Did you feel titillated at all for that?
Excuse me. Well, jeez. I mean, for someone who gets all hoity-toity about the kimono opening.
The kimono rubbed you the wrong way.
Not at all. I was not titillated in the least. I've just come to expect the blue thunder bomb to be a bomb, that where it doesn't actually cause any sort of pinfall related damage.
Where did they come up with the blue thunder? Is it a reference to the movie?
Is Blue Thunder about the helicopter?
Yes.
Then I think it's because of the rotating nature of it.
That would be awesome, because
I think that's why it's called.
It was a really good movie. It was not a great TV show, even though I watched the TV show a lot more as a kid.
Airwolf was better.
Oh, Airwolf was totally better.
Oh yeah.
But although Blue Thunder, I believe it was Bubba Smith.
Mm-hmm.
I almost want to say it was Alex Karras, because he was in everything.
Yes.
It was two football players, and they were kind of the ground component, and then there was some schmuck. But the movie had Roy Scheider.
Yes.
Which added. And actually, Jeremy Irons was in that, wasn't he? I'll look it up if you want to continue on.
Quite possibly. No, I mean, but overall, just the action in the match was just top notch. With I mean, Gunther was laying in the chops per usual. Sammy, was fighting from behind. Cody, it really was kind of taking shape of Cody and Gunther, kind of having their match and just kind of casting aside Sammy as kind of an afterthought. And then Sammy coming in and kind of doing his part in terms of doing damage to both of them. On the outside, we just had a great sequence on the outside with the announce tables. That's when the audio got all screwed up for the announcers when Sammy went through Cole and Graves' announce table. And then I saw an article today too about, I forget if it was on Cage Side Seats or what, but yeah, I think it was Cage Side Seats. It was something about someone has got to do something about the engineering of these tables, because it's How is it a 250-pound man can powerbomb a 220-pound man down onto a table and it doesn't break? You know, it's just one of those like weird sort of things where it's like, God, guys, like get it right.
Well,
you know?
was that an actual botch, or was that like because I always assumed, and I'm trying to think of this from an engineering standpoint, as someone who's not handy. I've accumulated a level of handiness out of necessity, because I've been a homeowner for many years now, which granted is as surprising to me as it is to anybody who I grew up with. But I've accumulated enough handiness to like, okay, I can kind of work this thing. I always assumed that for the announcer tables there was pins or some type of locking mechanism that would allow for when right before that happened, that there was like, okay, we pull the pin here and boom, now it'll collapse. Because otherwise, like, you stand up the wrong way, this friggin' thing's going to fall over. And there was when not through the Cole and Graves, but the Saudi announce team, there was a dude there who obviously looked like somewhat of a stagehand that got caught underneath that. And I almost think that Cody was kind of checking on him, like, dude, you okay? Because I don't remember you supposing to be here.
Yeah.
Like I kind of figured that was the thing. Like the engineering was like it was intended to be a 2 powerbomb sort of thing. Maybe I'm wrong.
It could be possible. Okay. Yeah.
While I've already interrupted your interruption, I just want to throw this out. So Blue Thunder, the 1983 movie, was of course starring Roy Scheider. Also Daniel Stern as Lyman Good, who is Jaffo, another effing observer. He of Home Alone fame, and it was Malcolm McDowell as the baddie. I goofed that up, but if we go to Blue Thunder, the television show, this is actually worth mentioning. James Ferrantino played the main character. Dana Carvey, ladies and gentlemen, as Clinton Jaffo Wonderlove, playing the Daniel Stern character. So yeah. And then it wasn't Alex Karras, it was Dick Butkus who played one of the ground units, and Bubba Smith as well. So I just wanted to clear that up.
Very nice.
Because that kind of crap is important to me. I don't know why.
It is. It's very important. Very important.
Yes.
All right. But overall, I thought it was a great match. I thought once again, the Crossroads becoming one of the about as ineffective as the Blue Thunder Bomb in terms of putting someone away.
Kind of.
No, I would say definitely. I mean,
yeah.
Cody nailed it on Gunther, couldn't put him away. I'm sorry. Sammy pulled the referee out.
Exactly. It was the first time it was ever going to put like someone of consequence away.
Did you really think it was going to happen? I mean, how many times have
it wasn't gonna.
Good God.
But it was a possibility. Like it was there on the table.
It was a nice touch for then later on in the match, Cody to pull the ref out on Sammy.
Did you notice? Like after Sammy pulls out the ref,
yes,
and Cody's in disbelief, Gunther did got the shoulder up. I was like, that was such a nice touch. Like almost like he's like, oh, I got to get the shoulder. Like there was this reflexive thing. I'm like, and that is why someone like Gunther is really as good as he is, because it's a Bret Hart, it's a Shawn Michaels, it's little things that like even Mick Foley, when he talked about like sometimes he would, even as he's taking a pin, he would have like his leg that wasn't hooked kind of do this little kick, like he's still trying to kick out even as he's getting pinned. I thought that was a nice little touch, and it also was foreshadowing as well.
It was,
but it was like the first time of anyone of consequence is going to get taken out by the Crossroads, and of course it got spoiled.
Well, and then I was going to go next. So Cody pulls the ref out on Sammy after he hits the haluva kick, and but then toward the end, I thought it was interesting. Gunther putting the sleeper on Sammy, and then Cody putting the Crossroads on Gunther, flipping them all over.
Yes. One thing I would just want to point out before that, did you catch the? I think it was Gunther had Sammy in the powerbomb. and then Sammy countered into a Canadian destroyer.
Yes. Oh, I do have that. Yes. I didn't recognize
cool.
it as a Canadian destroyer. I thought he just
it
seemed like he kind of rolled him up, in a rapid way, but it's pretty darn close.
Yeah. I just thought that was worth noting because I was like, oh, that was cool.
No, that I do have a note on that as well. Let's see. Crowd is going nuts for all things Sammy. Nice crossroads to Cody by Sammy. I didn't think he was going to put him away with it.
Man, that's what I miss with the friggin' audio mixes. I didn't have this loud enough, or I didn't have headphones on, so I felt like I missed a lot of the crowd noise.
Yeah, see, I had my earbuds in as I was listening to it, so I heard everything. So, but I got to tell you, the way this ended was, and I don't mean to say it was unexpected in that Sammy won, but it was just when he rolled him up, it's like you didn't think it was going to end that way. It was going to end with a finisher, and one of the three would be out of the ring, and it would just be, very clear what kind of happened. Cody selling it with disbelief was great.
Mm-hmm.
Gunther getting frustrated again. Like, I feel like at Cage Side Seats, there's a few articles I've seen where they're like, WWE is botching up, Gunther and stuff. I don't think they're botching it up. Like I think, and I honestly see the same problem happening with Obafemi. And this is kind of, I think, feeding into what you were struggling with the Jey Uso match. If Oba rolls over everyone, then sooner or later there's no hook with him. You know what I mean? And with Gunther being the career killer, you can't have him constantly beating everyone, because at a certain point you just are like, okay, yeah, whatever. He's just going to beat him. Why do I care? And so I like what they're doing with him, where he's not getting beaten because he's worse than the person or he's, losing his edge or something like that. There are circumstances like he's getting frustrated because the circumstances are not lining up in his favor.
Mm-hmm.
And he lost, Gunther lost this match not because he was pinned, but because Cody was pinned. And so I like what they're doing with him, where he still retains this sense of, I am the best. No one has beaten me legitimately. Now, in Clash in Italy, Cody beat him. Even though his foot was on the rope, Cody beat him. He pinned him.
Well,
now,
no, his foot was under the rope, right?
Or under the rope, right? But Cody pinned him. But he has that out because he had his foot under the rope. It's like, well, wait a minute, I didn't kick out because my foot was under the rope. Where was the ref?
Mm-hmm.
So I like what they're doing with him, and it seems, we'll see, like we might be headed toward Gunther taking on Nick Aldis, because they had a blow up in the post show.
Ooh.
They got physical, and Nick Aldis wasn't going to tolerate it. So, and he told, and the comment on the YouTube video was, gee, if only we all could talk to our boss this way. And basically it was like, you shut up and listen to me. It's like, oh,
wouldn't that
Lord.
be nice? Oh, wait, I'm self-employed. Damn it.
I mean, not that I have that sense toward my bosses, but you know what I'm saying. So.
Well, no, but I mean, yeah, we've all had bosses throughout our work history where, yeah, that would be what I mean. Well deserved.
But this was a surprise. And again, I was surprised.
Didn't I say that I kind of wanted to pick Sammy, and I
no, because you kept saying like you don't think they're going to crown Sammy in Saudi Arabia.
Because I overthought it.
Last week, I will go back to the tape and find the time stamp where you basically were like, "There's no way Sammy's going to win in Riyadh. No way, no way." Like, all right. Now I wasn't advocating for it heavily, because what surprised me about this was what I had been reading about Rhodes and Punk having when Punk comes back right now. Like, I guess the big thing with Punk is he wants to come back in Chicago on Monday Night Raw, but transition over to SmackDown, because he is going to then be, I think, the primary foil for Cody.
Mm-hmm.
And so I assumed that was going to be over the title, but we will see what happens. Is Sammy going to be a very short-lived transitional champ, or will he have a bit of a reign?
Frack not.
I hope not either. I want him to have a long title reign. So, But I very much enjoyed. I like the decision. When he won, it was a pleasant surprise. It surprised me because of the roll up when it happened in the match. That was something I noticed in this event was we had a number of pinfalls in matches that just kind of came out of nowhere, and you're kind of like, well, this doesn't feel like the crafted finish that you're used to in a match. And I like that. I like the fact that it came out of nowhere. I like the fact that the principles involved were Sammy was just as surprised as Cody. You know, he just had this look on his face like, oh my God, I actually did it.
Yeah, that's the thing that's bugging me about Sammy is so many of the times like, dude, find another facial expression.
Yeah. So he doesn't look like that emoji where the guy's like,
the thing is, like, there's, aside from there being two opponents, this was a fairly standard Sami Zayn match.
Mm-hmm.
That is the thing that frustrates me because, again, and hey, don't get me wrong, Sammy's put in his work. He's made his bones. He deserves it. Fine. Great. I just wish that we could get an evolution of the Sami Zayn character without it being like, and here's the same old Sami Zayn match. He's going to get his ass kicked, and he's going to do the thing where he goes to the corner and he looks at the crowd. And he's like, like a golden retriever that hasn't had enough water that day, and then he's going to turn around and do the haluva kick. Like, give me something a little bit different. Like, if you're going to start changing his character, like, change his character. Don't like say, oh, well, no, he's this. Because again, like, you have the white meat babyface in Cody Rhodes. You have the heel in Gunther, and then you have kind of the tweener in Sami Zayn, because essentially they haven't decided what the frack to do with him.
Yeah.
They haven't committed to him, which is the same thing they haven't done with Cody, because if this match was in the United States, the funny thing is Cody might have been getting booed.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they're like, oh, he got almost as many cheers as Sammy. It's like, well, because you haven't decided to shit or get off the pot with Cody. And again, this is where Triple H comes into this, where it's like, you just can't make a decision.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to turn him heel, turn him heel. Don't sow the seeds for 5 years. And then by the time I'm just like, I don't even care anymore. Then you're like, hey, we're turning him heel. Well, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, so I think it's good that Sammy wins. I hope it's not a transitional thing like it was when they took the belt off Gunther and they put it on Sammy, and then they just like, and next in line.
Yeah.
Because it should be a commitment to like furthering this character. It should be a commitment to like doing something different. But again, I don't have an enormous amount of faith. There was a meme that was going around. It was like, oh, and Brock Lesnar returns to squash Sami Zayn. I'm like, and it probably, because I'm just that person at this point now.
Yeah.
If nothing else, I think it was interesting the fact that like there was a wrestling convention or something going on, and there was a Q&A panel with Karrion Kross. And at the time that Sami Zayn won, someone stood up and was like doing a Q&A, and he was like, by the way, Sami Zayn just won the WWE Championship. And Karrion Kross was like,
yeah.
Because that was kind of one of his last storylines, was encouraging Sammy to like, it was like, okay, well, we finally fulfilled this, but it's like,
yeah,
will it lead anywhere? Again, like the tale will be told how this goes this week.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't know that I have the confidence there. I really don't.
Yeah.
So we will see. What did you rate this at, sir?
4.25.
Holy smokes, you are really sucking on that hopium pipe.
What?
I gave it 3.5.
What?
There was a lot of points in this match where it was like,
that match was better than Rollins Breaker. You cannot tell me Rollins Breaker was better than that.
No, they were equal.
They're not equal.
Yeah. Sorry. It was a very standard Cody Rhodes sort of moment. It was a very standard Sami Zayn sort of match. Like, there was nothing here that really drew me in that much. Sorry.
Okay. All right. Well, you're entitled to your opinion.
Especially the fact that like all of a sudden now Cody is passing out, but now as long as you catch their hand before it hits the mat, they're not really passed out. I'm like, what kind of midichlorian bullshit is this? Like, we're going to now all of a sudden, this is the, okay, fine.
That is, wait, whoa. That was done back in the Attitude Era, for crying out loud.
It was?
Yes,
When?
it was.
When?
You were party to watching it too, so come on now.
I was drunk. It was like 4 Mickey's Fine Malt Liquors into the night at that point.
Yeah, probably it was.
Which, speaking of which, salute.
There we go. Let me put Night of Champions in here into our score sheet so I can record my victory. All right, so we both did not get the winner, so 0 on that.
Some bitch.
I got a point for the rating because I was on the mark, and your pessimism cost you.
I don't care. At least I was honest. You're just.
I was honest. What are you talking about?
Honest. You're just inflating your ratings. Whatever.
You're just bitter because one,
I'm not.
I whooped you, and two, you need to work on the math a little bit more. So
well, that's no one's arguing that.
All right, let's well, actually, so our side bets here. Uncle Todd had Stephanie Vicaire returns and causes Liv to lose. That might actually happen at SummerSlam, honestly. Like, I think that is you need to ride that side bet at SummerSlam, my friend, because that is going to happen. She is cursed. Danhausen has spoken, and it is done. That did not happen, though, so -1 there. And then you also got on the Brock Lesnar train of interfering to cost Oba the King of the Ring. So you have -2. I, on the other hand, I also had Brock Lesnar taking out Oba. Mm-hmm. That was a -1. I had Carmelo Hayes interfering to cost Ricky Saints the championship. That did not happen, so I'm at -2. And then by the properties of math and integers, Charlotte Flair interferes and costs Jay the U.S. title. Ding, 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 ding. That is exactly what happened. That is a +1. That brings me to a -1. All right. So let's tally this son of a gun up. So Uncle Todd, 0 on the main event, 0 on the King of the Ring final, 1 for the Queen of the Ring final.
You got only 2. Break it down like this when I'm really behind. Just get to the friggin' ending here.
2 for the United States Championship match, the men's. I didn't put anything down here. You got a big old goose egg on.
Fuck you. Just get to the point here.
So 3 minus 2. You get 1 point for this event, sir. Your side bets did you in on this one, unfortunately. So.
And what did you get? Let's get to there. Okay.
I'll just start at 10. No, I'm kidding. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 minus 1 is 5. So I got 5 on this one.
Good for you.
And so now we go to the leaderboard, and I'll put in my 5 to your 1. And for the year, I am up 99 to 86 at this point. So a healthy 13-point lead at this stage. But don't worry, you have Real and Jabroni Spider-Man Brand New Day coming up, which you could redeem yourself.
If I could punch you through this screen, I would.
I'll throw this right between the crack of your ass.
You walk over, but you limp back.
Tastes so good, makes you want to slap your mama. Hey, mama!
Only about one location, so it's nearest you.
You know, the one off of Manchester over there.
All right. And what do you have for in another thing? Because it's startlingly blank right now. As a recommendation for our viewers and listeners, sir. What do you got?
Moment.
Oh, he's sweating. Where you mean you go? One moment. Where are you going? What are you doing? What the hell is going on? You got a sock puppet? What's going on here?
Excuse me, one moment.
No, don't worry. Don't worry. We're not running here. You want to discuss favorite dinosaurs like you did on
Mine and another thing is a book.
Oh, here we go.
Called Bottom Shelf: How a Forgotten Brand of Bourbon Saved One Man's Life.
Oh,
by
good.
Fred Minnick. Fred Minnick is a Wall Street Journal best-selling author. This is like the fourth time you've thrown the microphone out of frame. Oh my God, I can't breathe. Oh, good stuff. Oh, I gotta put them. I gotta put the glasses back on now. Oh God. All right. What is this book about? Hold on. Oh God, these are fogged up. Excuse me. All right. Whew. Okay. Fred Minnick was a combat veteran wrestling with the invisible wounds of war. What started as a quiet exploration of taste and ritual soon became something more, a way to calm his mind, reconnect with the senses, and slowly rebuild a life. And today, Fred's palate shapes the industry. His reviews move markers, his instincts set trends. So when he casually named a dusty 1969 bottle of Old Crow as his all-time favorite in an interview, the response was seismic. Prices soared from $40 to $3,000 almost overnight. But because the buzz was a deeper mystery, once revered by presidents, poets, and distillers alike, Old Crow had been stripped of its legacy and banished to the bottom shelf. Why was one of bourbon's most iconic brands abandoned, and what really happened to the whiskey itself? So he actually came to Wheaton and came to the bar Suburban that we went to, my friend, and did a book signing there. I did not go to it because I was unfortunately at work. But I did pick this up at our local bookstore and have been meaning to read it. But I did see this and thought I would mention this as something to read because it is, if you are a bourbon aficionado, this is a book to do check out. So that is my and another thing.
So you haven't read it?
I haven't. But he has an interesting story, and I think it's something worth people checking out. Have you listened to yours?
Yes, I have actually. So my and another thing is probably one of the more derided albums by this group. It is Every Day by Dave Matthews Band.
That's because they opened up their toilet when they went over one of the Chicago bridges and emptied it into the river on top of a tour boat, by the way.
That is true. So this has kind of been derided because in this 2001 album, his first album produced by Glenn Ballard, who also co-wrote all 12 of the album's songs with guitarist and vocalist Dave Matthews. It was kind of a shift in the sound to more of an electric sound. It's a commercial success, but the fan base not as happy about this one. I kind of have a soft spot for this album because this is one of those albums that for me hit in a particular spot in my life where I wound up listening to this a lot, and it kind of connected with where I was in life. That being said, I'm kind of a fan of kind of the hits off of this one, like the first three songs, I Did It, When the World Ends, The Space Between, and then the final song, Every Day. And unabashedly so. Like I hadn't listened to this album in a long time, and then today, kind of tooling around in the Jeep, decided to throw it on, and I'm like, yeah, no, this still holds up. When Dave Matthews came out, kind of Under the Table and Dreaming was the soundtrack, along with a Bob Marley Legend around dorms and campus at UNH. And so I kind of caught on to the DMB bandwagon fairly early and got a chance to go see him at the old Foxborough Stadium down in Massachusetts. And I've got to say I have kind of fallen off of that bandwagon. I haven't listened to them as much over the years, but going back and re-listening to this, I'm like, I can totally see why I really enjoy this and why I bought a bunch of these albums back in the day, and why I'll probably kind of venture through this discography in the week coming as I'm doing work and stuff, because an incredible band. Like, this is musically a phenomenal band. Carter Beauford and Stefan Lessard are one of the best rhythm sections around. Like, that dude is two of the best and kind of unconventional players at bass and guitar that you're going to find. And then just the rest of the band is just, granted, we don't have 2 out of the 3 remaining band members part of it anymore, but just outstanding and different sound. So yeah, give it a listen. If you haven't listened to it in a long time, because you're like, I don't like that because Glenn Ballard, whatever. He kind of was musical herpes at the beginning of the 2000s, and then, we got rid of him. So it's fine. But give it another listen, because I think it's, and again, kind of the sleeper for this is, for me, track number 8, Angel, which I've always loved that song. But yeah, go and give it another listen.
Very nice.
And it doesn't involve math. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is our show for this Free Range Idiocy Friday. Thank you all for tuning in. You can find our episodes at freerangeidiocy.com. Subscribe to the Podbean app there. You can also find all of our episodes audio-wise on Apple Podcasts, Pandora, Spotify, and Amazon, as well as many other podcast purveyors. Find all of our video episodes. If you really want to stare at our mugs this entire show, you go right ahead. It's on youtube.com/@freerangeidiocy. Make sure you subscribe, get all the notifications and all that fun stuff that I don't understand. We're on the Facebook and Instagram at Free Range EDC. You can send any thoughts or show ideas to Tim at Free Range EDC. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for me to finally stop my lips a-flapping and hand this back over to the man who, quite honestly, is the least idiotic member of this show. And by a far, far, far margin, which he will calculate because I suck at math. But not before I ask the second most important question in all of human history. The first being, what is hip? The second being, what the high holy hell did we learn this episode, sir?
We've learned the following.
Oh, good.
We've learned that when it comes to the maths, Uncle Todd needs a little bit more practice, repetitions on his images.
I just need to go sit in the corner somewhere. That's what I do.
We've also learned the man they call Tim is wily, crafty, and can come up with another thing on a moment's notice. And this right here, ladies and gentlemen, do check this out. We've also learned that Uncle Todd is negatory on the current state of the WWE product. Not happy with this event, while on the other hand, the man they call Tim remains optimistic that we are building toward a momentous SummerSlam where we will once again have faith in the Triple H and his creative control. What?
You're like Baghdad Bob as the tanks are rolling behind us. It is great. It is going to be good. We are winning the war.
We are. It's going to be wonderful. We've also learned that Free Range EDC is in the bag for Sami Zayn being the undisputed WWE champion. It's good to see the man get rewarded for his years of service, and it is a long time coming. If only it could have been an exclamation point to have one Kevin Owens there, and he has tweeted as such, as he wished he could have been there to celebrate with his longtime ally and foe.
In equal parts, really.
In equal parts, absolutely. It's kind of like a 2-year wave. It's like every 2 years they gotta beat out the bad blood between them, and then they become friends.
Is that like when what were the freaking bugs you guys had out there when I
the cicadas?
The cicadas.
That's
it's
every
like
7 years or so.
Every reading cycle is like when the Kevin Owens heel turn.
Yes. Okay. Basically. I will not be surprised if he comes back and powerbombs Sami Zayn on the side of the ring again, much like he did in his NXT debut. So.
Well, I mean, if he comes back, but I mean, it was a nice little homage there when he tried to do the package pile driver. That was nice.
We didn't talk about that, but that was cool. We've also learned that the man they call Tim is courageous and gutsy in making bold predictions such as CM Punk winning the King of the Ring final. While
You're out of your freaking gourd is what you are.
Well, Uncle Todd plays it safe, trying to...
By actually picking people who were on the freaking card. I know. What a fracking idea that is.
We've also
I think
learned...
Macho Man Randy Savage is going to win the championship at SummerSlam.
He could, because he's that good. All right. We've also
Beyond
learned
the grave
that Tiffany Stratton is due for a heel turn and a repackaging. Let us get away from Tiffy time and move on to something that's a little more meaty and dark for her that she can grow into as a character, and as well elevate Chelsea Green along the way in terms of their debuts. We've also learned that Trick Williams and Lil Yachty need to bone up on the Eddie Guerrero fake sort of play there that Ricky Saints pulled off. And we've also learned that Lil Yachty needs to work on his rope speed when he runs off those ropes. Good God. With those loafers, he could have done the rock slide if he had the skills, but, needless to say, he did not. No. With all that being said, and one last thing we have learned. Io Sky's boots, courtesy of Murph and the Magic Tools. I just wanted to say that. With all that being said, we thank you for the listenership, as always, and as we like to close things out here on the range, be safe. One more thing we learned.
Oh, my gosh.
The man they call Tim, once again victorious over Uncle Tom. Just saying. All that being said, be safe, be healthy, be kind, be good. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. The range is closed for now. Middle fingers and all. See ya!
It's like I picked the wrong week to quit drinking.
I beg your pardon, what did you say?
Damn!
You're such a disappointing pair. I prayed so hard for you. Get out. And don't come back until you've redeemed yourselves.
So say we all.
So say we all.
It's better than your eye being right up against the camera. Oh, good God. Jeez, some crow. I don't need to look up your nose. Stop it.
Now get the hell out of here!